Hi friends, welcome to Aishudiy. Today we are going to learn how to make a cute knotted bracelet with the Chinese nylon knotting cord. It's 0.8 millimeter, I believe. So the first thing I would do is I'm really not very easy with working with lighters. So I have here a small candle, and then I'm just burning the ends of my Chinese knotting cord, so just to help it to go through all the beads. And you need the cord, some beads. These I have some gold spacer beads, 3 millimeter, and some check glass beads. So you can have any beads as you want. So it's a bracelet without a clasp, so with just a sliding knot. So we need 24 inches of this knotting cord. So I'm just gonna measure 24 inches. So that's 12, and one more length of that would give us 24, and that's it. So I have here some 24 inches of cord, and then I burnt the ends. So I'm just going to burn both the ends because it, it will stop itself from fraying. So one technique that you can do is you can just actually, so you can just melt it and then just run it over this, and you'll get a strand. Sometimes this strand is very strong, sometimes it doesn't. So it's like just melt it and then go like this, then you get a strand like this. So that helps us to put the beads on very easily. Then I just snip this end off. So now we can just first we will string in a bead and move it all the way to the end, and before that we will knot the end of the cord as such. So just there we go, just that much. And then I'm just so you can just snip off the excess, and because it's Chinese knotting cord, you can just melt this end and just stomp it wherever, and now this is secure. So we have our spacer bead right here at the end, and then all we need to do now is thread on our beads. So first we shall knot throughout, so at around 2 inches or so, or I would say 1.5 inches is more than enough, and I'm just gonna make a knot. This knot will separate the beads from this end. So actually we can have it around 2 inches because we need the sliding knot as well. So around 2 inches where I want the knot to be. So the one tool that you need, it's easy for you, is even a small head pin. You can use a small head pin or an awl or tweezers. So you just hold it there and then tighten it up and then see if the length is right. If not, then you can just move the knot a little bit and leave it there and then tighten it. So that's it. So we will not use our ruler anymore from now until we reach the end. So now I'm going to thread in my spacer bead and one of this check glass bead and one of the spacer beads. You can do any patterns you want. There is no rhyme or reason that you have to use the same pattern as I do, but whatever beads you have in hand right now, uh, you can use those to make this knotted bracelet. It's getting a little difficult to thread in the beads, but you can always go ahead and, you know, there we go. So I added this. My bracelet design is going to be little, I'm just thinking of doing like all over like this, or a little bit different pattern. I'm not so sure. So just an overhand knot, nothing fancy. And then all you need to do is put your head pin through and hold it right at the edge where the beads are, where you want the knot to be. And then you can pull the knot all the way down. There we go. And then you just hold it with your nails and then push the knot towards the bead, just like that. Then I'm going to thread in the next spacer bead, and then this one, checkless bead. These are, I think, 10 millimeter, I'm not so sure, but these are like melon beads, I think. So I'm just checking if this pattern is good on me. Or you can do some other pattern. So we can add one bead and a spacer and a big melon bead. This blue is really nice blue. See, I like this pattern actually. Then I'm going to put a knot right there. Hold my head pin right across where I want the knot to be and push the knot all the way towards where I want by pushing the head pin, and then just slide off the head pin and then hold your thumb and land the knot exactly where you want to be. So then the next will be one spacer bead, one melon bead, and one spacer. You can also knot every other bead. It's totally up to you. I'm just doing the way I just think that it looks good for me right now. So after you put the knot, put your head pin and then just slide the knot and gently remove the head pin and push the knot all the way to the bead. So that's how I'm going to thread in the next set. So totally we need 7.5 inches for a standard bracelet, plus a little bit for the knot, sliding knot that we are going to do at the end. So So this one is like two beads and one spacer bead in the middle. So that's the pattern that I followed. And then I'm going to put my head pin down here all the way and pull the knot, and then slide the knot, push the knot towards the bead. And then the next pattern would be a spacer bead, a melon bead, and a spacer. Then, so overhand knot is just wrap the knot, the cord around your index finger, and you have a loop. Bring the end inside the loop from underneath and pull it across. So that's an overhand knot. And then you can just slide the knot to where you want by holding a head pin or a bead or a tweezers, some tweezer if you have. So there we go. And the next would be one melon bead, one spacer bead, and then one melon bead. And then overhand knot, and keep your head pin right where you want your knot to be. And I'm just pushing the head pin towards the bead. And then when it is a little bit loose, use your fingers to slide the knot towards the bead. And then the next pattern would be one spacer bead, one melon bead, and then one spacer bead. So, and one more overhand knot. So hold the head pin right where you want the knot to be, and then push the knots towards it. Then slightly remove the head pin and push the knot towards the bead. There we go. Then now we can actually measure the length of the bracelet. So here we go. There is 6 inches. So a couple more inches of stringing and knotting. And the next pattern would be one. With the next pattern, the bracelet would end, but that's okay. When you look at it, you will look at as there is a spacer bead in between the melon bead. That's all you will look, so it will look nicer. And then a knot. So overhand knot, wrap it around your fingers and take the loop off the end of the thread, come from underneath the loop upwards, and then that's an overhand knot. Take your head pin and put it right across the bead, and then slide your knot all the way towards it. You can just push it and then slightly remove the head pin, and if there is a little bit of a give to the knot, go ahead using your nail, just push it right next to the bead. Now we'll measure it again. Now we have 7 inches. So 7.5 inches. I think we can add one more, but we can always try and see how it will look. The bracelet look amazing, but if I add one more, it will become bigger for me. So if I add the sliding knot, and that should be it. So then what I do is I add one more bead, spacer bead. So we still have a lot of cord left, but that's okay. I just want to measure exactly where I want the knot to be, because I want to match it to the thing. But I'll add just one more bead, and I will knot, because that will create a nice end to the bracelet. So I'll do one more knot, overhand knot here, because that looks kind of very blank without that spacer right there at the end of the bracelet. There we go. Now it looks nice. And I'll add one more spacer bead, and this time I'll measure this length, and I want the knot exactly to be here. So I'll hold that place and then make a knot. I'll use my eye head pin and then move this knot a little bit and check if it is the right distance, and if not, move it a little bit more. And now I'm checking it again. I think that distance is good enough, so I'm taking it off and tightening the knot. Now I can snip off this excess, leaving just a tad bit of the cord, and I would take my handy dandy tea light, and then I just burnt the end. Now it's secure. All we need to do now is take we need this little bit of the thread that we have for the sliding knot. So we just put this bracelet this way, and then what we do is we have to make just a small loop around here, and then we have to place it right with the other two cords. Then take the longer end and then make some wraps across all the cords that we have. One, just don't make it tight, because we have to pass the thread towards this with under, I mean inside these loops. So make sure it's not very tight. One and two and one more. It will be a little bit easy with the waxed cotton cord or so. This one is nylon, so I have here 3 loops. Now I take the end and I put it underneath all the 3 loops that I made so far. So one and two and 3, and I'm keeping it down, and I'm putting it through all these 3 loops that I made. With the help of the pliers, I'm pulling the first loop, which is tight. Now I have the gap, so I can put it inside, I believe. And then the final loop that we made with this cord. So go through that loop too. Then hold this and the other end. And then nicely pull these two. Just like that. So these two are the ends that we are supposed to pull, and then this will come together. And try to move this one. There we go. There we go. The slide is working. So all you need to do is now go ahead and snip off this ends little bit, leaving a little gap, not a lot, but a little gap, so that you don't snip it off very close. And this will fray and come off, so you need to make sure that you secure this end too. So and there we go. So now the bracelet is completely done, so you can check it's sliding nicely. And then if you want to remove it, you can open this up like this. And here we have a sliding knot bracelet, fully knotted bracelet without using any clasp. Hopefully you like this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon for notifications of my new videos. And I go live every Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.